Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard, Dragontree, Dragon Empire deck profile. This is my third take for the Dragontree deck, focusing on Dragon Empire for this version of the deck. This is actually the one I've been having the most fun with, so more than likely the one I'm going to stick with for the Dragontree build. It focuses on being able to set up the different Calamity cards you run in the ride deck to then be able to activate your over trigger that is also comprised of your ride deck, and being able just to restand your already incredibly powerful Dragontree Griffogilla Vanguard for another attack with its additional power that it already has, plus the additional critical, and then also be able to restand all your rear guards, giving you a total of 6 attacks once you finish the combo. It is definitely, I would say, one of the most pressured deck versions we have for the Griffogilla Dragontree deck. We still have Dark States and Keter Sanctuary to finish as well, so I'll definitely be doing those, so look forward to them. But until then, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the actual ride deck. Our starter is the Griffo Sid, or Griffo Seed. This card gets 2,000 for each Calamity card with a different card name in your soul. And also, at the beginning of your main phase, choose a Calamity card from your ride deck, put it into your soul. If you put 3 Calamity cards from your soul that were in the ride deck face up, search your hand or deck for up to 1 Dragontree of Ecliptic Decimation, Griffogilla. Ride it as stand if you searched your deck. Shuffle your deck if you wrote a card. Choose 2 of your rear guards and put a Dragontree marker on each, with the Dragontree markers giving those rear guards plus 5,000 power to, if you have a Vanguard with Dragontree or masks in their card names. So then you have your Calamity cards, which is the grade 1, Start of the End, the grade 2, Menascious Metamorphosis, the Looming Demise, and then our Overtrigger, since it is the Dragon Empire version, the Dragon Deity, King of Resurgence, Dragveda. So you have the restand power thanks to this Overtrigger. Very, very scary for this deck, along with the ride deck. Our main go-to unit for the deck is Dragontree of Ecliptic Decimation, Griffogilla. During your turn, this unit gets plus 5,000 for each Dragontree marker on your rear guard. If you have 3 or more, it gets critical plus 1. So just being able to utilize your 1 grade 1 that we run in the deck, being Dragontree Wretch, Draco Batacall, for the Dragontree marker play that this card can provide, can give you the additional 1 along with the 2 that Griffogilla places for you then to have your Vanguard be at critical plus 1. And on Vanguard Circle once per turn, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose a face-up Calamity card from your ride deck, remove it. If you did not put or remove a card, choose an Overtrigger from your ride deck, reveal it, activate all the trigger effects and additional effects, remove it, and then stand all of your rear guards with the Dragontree marker. So you will, it's when it attacks. So when you attack with your Griffogilla, if you resolve the Overtrigger, you will then just be able to restand your Vanguard at that time. The attack will still be going through from the first attack that Griffogilla. You'll just have this card be restood ready for the next attack they can provide with the 100 million as well, along with the 100 million you got from before when you activated the Overtrigger. As the next grade that we're running in the deck, it just adds so much more pressure. We're running 4 copies of Virina Esperidea. Now, you don't have the Overdress play or the Overdress with Trickstar, but Esperidea still has the rear guard once per turn when your Vanguard attacks to Soul Blast 1. Stand this unit, and it gets plus 5 for each of its original dress. It won't get any plus power, but it'll already be at a plus 5 power if you have it on one of the Dragontree markers on the rear guard. So then you're just dealing with a unit that can attack and then restand again for that pressure. If it's not going to restand off of Griffogilla, you can at least be restanding it the other plays to then attack into your opponent's units. So it's an awesome setup for you to do so with that. And we don't have any grade 2s or 3s in the deck, so moving on now to the grade 1s. I do want to run 4 copies of the Dragontree Wretch, Draco Batacall. I only have the 3, still waiting on the 4th one to come in the mail. So I just have a placeholder with 1 of these sold as Sakab, but you do want to run 4. You can't even run the Keter one. Like I said, it's just a placeholder for the deck with Draco Batacall. When this unit's placed on rear guard, counter plus 1, choose one of your rear guards without a Dragontree marker, and put a Dragontree marker on it. And on rear guard once per per turn. When your opponent's rearguard is retired during your main phase, you can Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and choose up to one grade 1 or less unit from among them and call it to rear, and shuffle your deck. So with this card, you get more of a setup for the Dragontree markers. If you wanted to go for some retire power, you have more of a play to rely on with this card that it can provide thanks to that setup. But it's mostly here for the Dragontree markers to have the pressure with your other rearguards to then be able to restand once you summon out your Griffogilla. Now, with Asperidea being a big part of the power for the rearguards, I'm running 4 copies of Blaze Maiden Zemena. When this unit's placed on rearguard, counterblast 1, look at 7 cards on the top of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Overdress from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So this is just a searcher for you to add Asperidea to your hand that much more quickly, and you don't really use counterblast for much else aside from the Dragontree markers that Draco Batacol can provide, with our other grade 1s being 3 copies of Blaze Pole Monk Retsuji. When placed on rear, counterblast 1, choose up to 1 card with Overdress ability from your drop zone, put it into your hand. If your Vanguard is grade 4, you countercharge 1. You won't get the countercharge because your Vanguard won't be a grade 4, it'll be a grade 10, but it still gives you the option to choose an Overdress unit, so your Asperidea, from your drop zone if your opponent at least tries to retire it with their card plays. For more of a defensive grade 1 lineup, I also run the 4 copies of Stealth Dragon Fushimachi Madoka. On rear guard circle, if your opponent's drop zone has 4 more cards, it gets power +2 and shield +5. If it has 8 or more, it gets shield +5 additionally. So it can be a 15k guard, which is definitely something you need in this deck just for more defensive power that the deck can provide for you, being able to at least have that until you can get to your proper setup with your Calamity triggers. And then for the last of the grade 1s, 3 copies of Twin Strike of Duststorm Orlando. From the soul, if your opponent's rearguard was retired this turn, counterblast 1, call this card to rearguard, and on rearguard, when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard attacks, you can put this unit to your soul, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets plus 5,000 to end of turn. So it's mostly in the deck to provide soul power. You don't really retire much in this deck. It's more of just the pressure that the Dragon Empire cards can provide. So you have the play of just being able to put Orlando into the soul, giving your Vanguard +5, and then providing the additional soul blast that you'll need for cards like Virina Asperidea to then restand again. And also 4 copies of Twin Buckler Dragon, just the Sentinel for Dragon Empire that I chose as well, having the discard restriction if you have at least 1 or less cards in your hand, not having to pay the discard cost for your Sentinel. With our trigger lineup being 8 critical for, once again, the pressure that you can get with your Vanguard restanding and then just hitting for some of those big numbers. So 4 Burning Flail Dragon and 4 Blaze Maiden Zone. And for the next trigger spot, running the 3 draw triggers, so 3 copies of Flare Veil Dragon for the additional shield they can provide. And for the heal triggers, 2 copies of Blaze Maiden Rona, 1 copy of Cure Flare Draco Kid, and 1 copy of Amaviera. Now you have the other heal that we got from the set, but I've been playing around with it, and if you don't open it up while you have Griffocid, it doesn't really provide much for shield power, since you'll be at a grade most of the time that's higher than your opponent. So sticking to the other 2 heals for that spot. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, this is our 3rd version for Dragontree. We've already done Brantgate and Stoicheia. So with Dragon Empire down, we just have Keter, Sanctuary, and Dark States to finish up. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.